Just hit record. So here we go. Let me get everything rolling here. So I can see your guys' questions. If they come up. There we go. Attendees. Well, welcome everybody. Now I'll get started. Welcome. Today is Monday, August 18th. This is Bird Dogging Opportunities with Scott Travis. I am Scott Travis, your host for tonight, and every Monday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time. That's me. Hopefully most of you, I see a lot of you are coming back. It was kind of a glitch a couple of weeks ago. The webinars ran out, so we had like 200 and some people that were registered, and they had to go back and re-register. So I'm trying to get all those people back. We'll get them back, but if you know someone that was on that registered for it, what happens is I know you guys get a kind of a reminder that tonight's the broadcast, and all those that we had the problems with a couple weeks ago, people were emailing me, said, hey, I don't know what's going on. Nobody, is your webinar going on? What's happening? So we'll get back up to speed here, but I see that we've already got 22 people already going. So it's all good. We're all going to have a good time. I kind of run these on Monday nights. Let me go back. We did miss last Monday. We were in California. I was in California actually traveling to go look at one of our properties that we're getting under contract. So apologize for not being here last week, but I think we're ready to go and, rocking and rolling. The way I like to run these is questions, ask them whenever you have them. I'd like to get more interaction if we can. If you don't want me to use your name, I have no problem. I'll just say that this is the question from blank. If you want to ask a question live, meaning you could be heard, which is, everyone could hear you at the same time as me, which would be great. Just raise your hand. There's a little button that raises your hand. I'll click the button. And if you see me look over here, I've got 2 computer screens and 3 phones in front of me. So I apologize for that. So we'll get started here. Monday, August 18th. We're almost into September, October, November, December, which is absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Bird Dogging Opportunities with Scott Travis, and that's me. Tonight I kind of want to go over, I don't know if this is going to be more of a, just kind of a reflection, kind of something that is kind of been going through, kind of the thread that we've been going through over the past week of, successes and failures and kind of stumbling blocks. And there's a couple of things that have come to my attention and that I've had to face this weekend. Actually, there was quite a few people that just had nothing but problems, and they couldn't understand why they were having all these problems. And, sometimes you have to take, responsibility, accountability for some of the actions that you do. So, I think we're going to kind of go over that a little bit. But if you guys have any questions that definitely relate to an issue that you guys are having that I can help you with, raise your hand, ask the question. We'll get through it. I know that Diane's on here tonight, and Diane will call me if there's an issue. She just touches base, and I love that happens, because it's a lot easier to solve a problem before it's a problem. Let's get the thing out in the open. Let's find out what's going on with it. Let's find out the course of action that we can take and move. There comes to be a point when you need to take action and, be responsible on some of the actions that you did. Kimberly asked me, did I ever establish a mastermind group? The group that I was talking about forming was going to just be on Facebook, and yes, we have it. But Pete wanted to change it. I believe it's Bird Dogging Opportunities on Facebook. If you email me at scott@c2creia.com, I will add you to it. Let me get these phones turned off. I apologize. My wife is gone. I'm running her business, running my business, running this, everything else. So email me at scott@c2creia.com or friend me on Facebook, and we'll try and get the group together on Facebook so that if there is any issues that you're running into and you don't want to call me, or you don't want to send a big email, or you have a question for the group, if they've had any issues or the same thing happened to them, let's throw it out there. Let's get it as an open discussion. I like that. I like the, interaction where you have a question. I may not know the answer. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to sit here and know everything, but I will guarantee you that we'll get to the bottom of it and find out the answer. So that's kind of the scenario we're going on. So Kimberly, did we ever establish a mastermind group? We've got a group in Facebook. As far as the mastermind group, I think Pete kind of wanted to go with kind of doing like a 3-day or 4-day mastermind that we just, hammer everything and go over it. But until then, any questions or anything that you guys have, concerns about or have issues on, please email me, talk to me right here, right now, or wait until Monday. If you do ask the question tonight, there might be 4 or 5 other people that are on tonight that have the same question, but just don't want to ask it. So feel free to just jump in there. So we'll get started here. So here's the here's the big one. Why is this so hard? Or is it really that hard? You have to look at bird dogging or rehabbing. I'm going to kind of roll in with rehabbing and people that are doing that also, because this kind of runs the thread through the whole talk tonight. It is a hard thing to do. It is, but anything that you start and that you've never done before is hard. I mean, we can go back to riding a bike. I mean, when you're a kid, you see all your friends riding a bike. It's like, man, I just want to ride the bike. Well, you have to start. You don't remember them when they couldn't ride the bike. You don't know a lot of these people that hadn't done a deal before. You come onto the webinars, or you listen to people that say it, and well, they've always done this. Well, I haven't always done this. So I was in the exact same position as every one of you guys. I am just the same. I have just been doing it longer. That's it. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. But it's the big thing is this, why is this so hard? Or is it? There's a lot of things that this business or this is, I'm stumbling here. There's a lot of things in rehabbing, bird dogging, lending money, anything that has to do with real estate is hard. But you can, minimize the hardness of it by listening to others, by taking advice and going with your gut. A lot of people discount that, that inner feeling that just doesn't, yeah, man, I'm just going to push this deal through. I'm going to make sure that this happens. I just want to do this. I just got to get this thing done. But there's something deep inside of you that's saying, hey, this just might not be the right thing to do. And, you can't discard that. So, that's the one thing is you have these webinars, you have people that you guys can draw on. We're an open book as far as what we're doing. If you listen to anything that Pete says, any of the webinars, if you listen to the radio show, we're an open book. We'll tell you what's going on, what's good, what's bad, how we've come through this situation or that situation. You guys just, you're going to make it harder on yourself if you try and do all of it by yourself. I know myself, I've reached out to people, that knew more than me, and I still do that. I don't say that I know it all. I never will. I don't think any of us here at C2C or would ever say that. But I'll tell you what, we've got resources that we go to and find out the issues. So, the thing about this is I was driving home from California, and like I said, this has kind of been the thread for the past week that we've been talking about success and failure. Both 7-letter words. Both are, they're so much closer than a lot of people would agree with me on. There's a thin red line that goes between them. You have to fail to succeed. Fail yourself to success. I kind of jumped on Ivan's webinar, last week, and we were, going over some of the failures that we went through, and just, it happens to everyone. Just the thing about it is try to mitigate your failures as best as you can. If you're running into a situation, if you've got a property, see, I always tell you guys to just send me the properties, send me the deals. Why do I tell you that? It's like, so I can help you learn the process, number one, so I can help you avoid some of the failure that's going to come. You send me the deals. You think that they look good. I look them over. I know that there's quite a few people on here that have sent me deals. I've gone back with them. I've either emailed you back and said why it's not a good deal, or what is good about it. We need more information. So, let's, I'm trying, we are trying, I keep saying trying, and I'm catching myself now. I'm finally catching myself saying trying. We are here to help you succeed. That's the whole thing. Failure is going to happen. You cannot fail. How do I say this? Success comes from failure. Anytime that you feel that a deal didn't go right, or you send me a deal and I say, no, it's no good. And you're like, gosh, well, I've sent you 2 deals and now I've failed twice. So I'm done. This is ridiculous. I'm going to tell you, if I had I don't have it, but I've got a stack, and I kid you not, it is probably at least 12, 14, 16 inches tall of offers that I've just kept that were not successful. And these are not the ones that I've thrown away. And it just goes, I can go through them and tell you what the address was, why I thought it was good, why it was accepted, why it wasn't accepted. So if I've got almost 2 feet of rejections, when did I stop? Did I stop at the 1 inch mark when there was only 30? Did I stop at the 100 mark? I mean, I still haven't stopped. It's 4 years later. Have I been turned down? Absolutely. Is that a failure? I don't know. Yes. In certain instances, I have taken it as a failure because I've done everything right. I thought it was right. And then someone behind me checked my work and said it wasn't right. And I'm like, that's just terrible. I feel like I've failed at doing what I think I can do well, but we're not perfect, and a lot of times those no's are way better for you than the yeses are, that sometimes a failure, that one failure that you let win will never let you succeed. Think about that. The one failure that you let win, you will never succeed, ever. So if you let one failure say, okay, now I'm going to stop this course of my life. Whatever it is, real estate, I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter. I'm done. This failure it was the straw that broke the camel's back. You will never succeed in what you just threw away. That's it. So I could have 2 feet of rejected offers, and that was my breaking point. And I said, I'm done. Okay. So who wins? People are still going to buy property. There's going to be these gurus that are going to put out 10,000 people a year, take their money, put out 10,000 people a year that are going to do just what I did, and they don't have the experience that I have. But they're not going to let a failure stop them from succeeding. Well, there's no way that I'm going to let that happen. There's no way. You guys can. Hey, I think we have a buddy of mine. Hold on 1 second. Is this Mr. Ivan? No. No, I thought he was. Is he? There he is.
It could be.
It could be. Hey,
Maybe.
buddy. Well, hello, Mr. Ivan.
You're just creeping in, and they don't want to steal your webinar and make a distraction like other people.
I was going to say, is Johnny back?
No Johnny this time.
No, if you want to jump in, I'll leave your mic open. But I don't know if you've been listening. I know you have been. So
yeah, a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and keep myself muted because I'm still working.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm going to go ahead. If I feel like I need to harass you a little bit, I'll jump in.
Please do. All right, buddy. So we have Ivan listening in, so I better watch myself. But really, guys, I'm sure that there's a breaking point when you decide to quit something. I just don't think I've reached that point in many things, and I'm not going to say I haven't quit anything. I quit playing baseball. I quit playing, soccer. So, there is things that, I guess a certain age or a certain, desire leaves you, then you stop it, of course. But that's just it. The success and failure, guys. You've got to keep this thing going. If this is your plan, if this is what your desire is if this is what's going on, and you have the resources, you have the opportunity, you have the backing, you have free coaching, for heaven's sakes. You've got many people that are out here willing to help you. If you want to get help, team yourself up with someone that, even if they have just as much experience as you, 4 eyes are better than 2. Heck, over here we have 6 eyes that look at stuff. I mean, once again, I'll go back. If you guys send me a deal, it goes to me. I look at it. I send it to Ivan. Ivan looks at it. Pete doesn't care. Pete doesn't look at it. So I'm lying about that. He doesn't really look at it. So, but that's where we're, thank you, Ivan. That's the thing right now. I guess what I'm trying to say is right now, everything is free to you right now. There's going to be a time when it's not going to be. And then you're going to say, well, man, I wish I'd have taken advantage of it when it was. So that's just the thing on that. So I've got very simple slides tonight because I wanted to kind of be an impact of these things, success and failure. They're 7-letter words. They're just like love and hate. They're just so closely aligned with each other. It's not even funny. You have to fail to succeed. And that's just it. Just make it happen. Blame and accountability. Two other good words.
Yeah. So don't mind Scott if I jump in, or if
just jump in.
It's my fault. It's my fault if he's distracted.
It is.
I'll
go.
have to do. Nice slide, by the way.
Thank you. I'm doing them very simple tonight, sir. It's very simple. Did you want to say something about this? Oh, okay. He just jumped on to give me a rash. So here's the other two. Here's the other 2 powerful words I've got: blame and accountability. When we're going through when we're going through something that's tough, or we're going through something that we don't understand, it's always you want to blame someone. It's like, well, my contract, and I'm going to kind of keep this with rehabbing and everything else. My contractor didn't do something, so I'm going to blame all these issues and all my problems on this contractor. It's like, okay, now what? I mean, you're pushing the can down the road. You have to take some accountability. Why is the contractor not performing? What has happened to that point? Accountability. And this kind of is directly, I'm going to kind of tie this in with the things I've been working on this weekend, with people calling me and saying that my contractor is an idiot. Well, okay, your contractor's an idiot. You hired him. You need to take accountability for that. Why did you hire him? Well, because he fit the price that I needed to do. Okay, great. Well, what was the price of the other guy? Well, he was about 15-20% higher. Okay, well, did you check him out? Well, I checked him out real good. He had his license, he had this, he had that, everything checked out. Well, why didn't you go with him? Well, because this other guy was cheaper. Well, did you check out his license and everything else? No. Well, there's some accountability on your part. Yes, you can blame the contractor for being an idiot. You can blame him for not finishing the job. You can blame him for stealing money from you. Oh, wait a minute. How did he steal money from you? Oh, you wrote him the check. That's right. So you don't want to hold yourself accountable for writing the check when he wasn't performing. You know what I mean? So these are the things that, success and failure. I mean, it's going to be this one, intertwining thread that's going to go through this thing. So you're not going to succeed because you're blaming the contractor and he's failed to do something, but you don't want to take any accountability. It makes no sense. It makes absolute no sense. We're all big people here. I'm sure if you're sitting in front of a computer and you got home from a job, you've been through school. I mean, I think most of you that I'm looking at everyone's graduated high school. Everyone's had relationships. Everyone's had friends. Everyone's, broken up with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Everyone has had a friend that you guys fell out of love with. You know what I mean? So you blame them for being an idiot. Well, you're going to hold yourself accountable for not seeing the forest through the trees. It's just, you can't keep pushing the can down the road. once you stop and you put your feet in the ground and you hold yourself accountable for what's going on, you hold yourself accountable for bird dogging. Hold yourself accountable for, okay, well, I haven't made any money in bird dogging because it's just been kind of tough, and I've put out 2 offers and Scott's turned them down. Well, I turned them down, number one, probably because there's no money in the deal. That will be probably 90% of the reason that I turn it down. That's just it. I mean, there's just plain and simple numbers right there. And I'm not the numbers guy. Ivan's the numbers guy. So if I think that it's terrible, the minute I pass it over to Ivan, he's going to laugh at me. He's going to go, did you even break out a calculator, or did you just count your fingers and toes? You know, I mean, that's what is going to happen. So, you know, let's get this thing back on the road. If you're not turning in, if you're not sending it over deals, if you're not wasting or not spending your realtor's time, you know, looking for deals. Here's a perfect example today too. I'll tell you, I don't know if you're all on Facebook, but the challenge today was to post something that you went out and did today. Well, I don't know if it was out of your comfort zone or whatever it was, but here's the deal. I was last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was in California looking at the $1 million deal down at the beach. You know, we went through that. We were looking in one other property, and it stunk. I mean, it was just the most ridiculous. It was just a smelly house. It was like a $40,000 house, but they were asking $2.5 million for it. That was an absolute teardown. Just a teardown. Just take the structure, get a bulldozer, and tear the thing down and start fresh. You know, so Ivan's looking out the window, out this big picture window, and he goes, "Man, look at that ugly house over there. Just so happened to have a for sale sign in it." I'm like, all right, cool. So in the back of our mind, I'm just keeping it in the back of our mind, you know. So we actually put an offer in on the $2.5 million house. We put an offer in, and we had missed the offer because that morning someone else had put an offer in, and they had accepted. They were opening up escrow. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, that other one across the street was for sale. So I'm thinking to myself, today we were going back and forth. I'm saying, well, what's happening with the house that we looked at that was out the picture window? So our realtor was going back and forth. It's off the market. They took it off, blah, 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 blah. So today it was just like, I called the realtor and said, listen, see if we can't get contact with the owner. You know, the listing agent, it's not listed anymore. It's off market. There's nothing going on. So call the owner and see. And you guys all, if you've been watching my webinars, you know how to get a hold of the owner. You know, I just don't live in that state, so I'm going to have my realtor take care of that. Professional. I mean, we're talking $1 million homes. I'm not going to walk in there in my board shorts and my hat like I would love to do. And when I get to a certain point, that's all I'm going to be doing, and make them an offer. So she gets on the phone. This guy's a neurosurgeon that owns the house, and he took it off the market because he was tired of looky-loos. We put an offer in. Boom. Make the offer. It's like, you know, stand your ground. Do what you're going to do. You know, this is what we do. We keep telling you guys that this is what we do. So this is action. You have to take action when you say you do something. So put the offer in. We got a counter offer back. But the house wasn't on the market. Yeah. But the house wasn't for sale. Yeah. But it had a for sale sign on it. It's just taking that extra step, guys. It's not just looking at an MLS listing and saying, this property's for sale. Here's the comp. Where's the money? It's making something happen. You know, go make something happen. We threw a rock at it and see if we broke a window. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get some, you know, action with it. We got the offer in. They're counter offering us back. We already know what the counter offer is going to come back at. We're going to counter offer that offer. It's the game. You know, I could do the same thing here. I can blame my realtor for not looking at that property and doing more research on it. Well, I need to hold myself accountable and tell her to do that. You know what I mean? It's not, yes, she's a realtor. She's looking for properties for us. We happened to be out there. We didn't walk through this property. We looked at it from a window. and said, I wonder what that, what's going on with there, and just dropped it. Well, if I didn't put myself and I didn't hold myself accountable to hold someone else accountable, that's what we're here for. I could sit here and blame my realtor for not getting me more information on that property. Well, yeah, is she a realtor? Can she do that for me? Absolutely. Sometimes you got to kick them in the butt. I mean, realistically, I keep telling you, realtors are your best source. Make them your friend. I call her 15 times or text her a day just to talk with her, just to say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? If I'm at the forefront of her thoughts, when something comes up, she's going to think of me. That's it. That's all I want her to do. I want her to think of me. Think of this ugly face that you're all looking at every time that a deal comes to the table to her. Make me your priority. Make me your priority. And conversely, she's going to make a heck of a lot of money from us. A heck of a lot of money. So, the blame and accountability. Take some accountability before you blame someone. See what you did wrong. See where this could have all been taken care of before it gets to that part. Any questions? I'm sure that this is like, me sitting on a throne preaching. I don't want to do that, guys. I'm just trying to help you guys with getting this thing going and making your I don't know if making your life easier, but making it a little bit easier for you guys.
What I would throw in there is just to know that even luxury listing realtors.
What now?
I would say that even the luxury listing realtors need to be trained. And
yes.
You can't be afraid to train them just because they represent $1 million+ properties and they have a fancy office. Doesn't mean that they don't need to be trained. Especially the guy that we're buying the other property from. He's a snobby little guy. Has tons of listings there, but it's not somebody who's real accustomed to dealing with investors, and so he was getting kind of flustered.
Yeah,
we want certain things, and we want them a certain way, and we're not gonna bend to his will.
No, and that's just it. It's a matter. I'm just looking right now for kind of the email that I sent her, because I said we need to regroup here. This is exactly what we need you to do. I don't need, this might be something different that you're not used to, and I would more than happy to train you. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. You understand what we're doing to make your job easier. See, there's the same thing. I can blame her for not giving us what we want, but I need to be held accountable because I didn't tell her what we wanted. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get this thing looking. But anyway, it doesn't matter if you're buying a $50,000 property or a $2.5 million property. You know what I mean? That's just it. Sometimes here's the main difference that I see in it. The realtors make a lot more money doing the $1 million deals, which is fine. Which the way I look at it is, if they're making a lot more money and they're doing the exact same thing that my realtors that are picking up $25,000 homes, they need to be on point. They need to know exactly what we're looking for and exactly what we want and how to present it, because there's an artful way of being, presenting an offer. That's not just, you have to make it good. It has to be win-win for both sides. We want it at a certain price, as cheap as we can get it, but we don't want to offend the seller, especially in that price point. I mean, it's, something. I really think that the listing agent had something that, number one, did not like any of us that when we walked through his listing. I don't care what he says, what anybody says. He looked us up one side and down the other. It was crazy. So wait a minute, we got a question here. Are the past webinars on iTunes also, do you think it's worth it to get your own realtor's license? Past webinars are on C2CREIA.com. I believe they are. I'm not sure. I think that they get listed on iTunes. But if you go to C2C REIA, REIA.com, and look at webinars, you can. I think I've showed it to you guys. Let me pull this over here. Let me get this up real quick. I am not the quickest on the computer. Go right here to podcasts. You can go Investing Coast to Coast, Journey to Success, Bird Dogging Opportunities right here. Expert Corners, Ivan Oberon's Money Matters, and the Women Entrepreneurs. These are all the past webinars. I'll just click onto this. There's the past one, Building Your Team, Time Kills Deals, Money Bird Dogging, Friend or Foe. So Kimberly, there's the past webinars that we've had on this program, and anything else that you needed from Coast to Coast. Also, I think it's worth it to get your own realtor's license. I kind of gone back and forth on this. The way I look at it is, if you have, I don't know, maybe Ivan has something, but I'll try and do this. Maybe if you have the time and that's something that interests you that you want to look at, then getting your real estate license, you could save money on the buy side of it and the sell side of it. If you're not familiar with what's going on, it will help you. If you just want to invest in your area, then it will help you. For me, we invest all over. There's, a better way to do it is to get either with your realtor and ask if you could be a partner with them, meaning you have access to MLS, because usually 9 times out of 10, whenever rehabbers get their real estate license, it's the only thing that it's for is for MLS and to see listings. I know if I had it, I wouldn't list anybody's property. There's no way, because if it's a good enough property, I'm going to buy it and rehab it. So in that sense, it just depends on how you want to go with it. If it's something that interests you like that, that would be my only thing on the getting your real estate license. Other people, I know some friends of mine that have it in other states, and what they did with it, they went into property management. So they made another stream of income off of doing real estate. So it just depends on what you want to do. I particularly, I've got access to all the MLS that I need, and I don't really want to go to the schooling of learning what percentage of what needs to go to who and everything else. So for me, I don't think I'd ever get my real estate license unless I stayed with someone. And yeah, okay. Thank you, Ivan. So blame and accountability. I think we've gone through that a lot. If there's any questions coming up, and guys, like I told you, this is going to be kind of different than the webinar that I normally do in showing you exactly how to do something. This is just kind of the things that have been the thread that's been going through, Coast to Coast and through the radio show and Ivan's webinars and everything else. So we're kind of tying everything together a little bit, and then next week if there's something that's specific. That's the other thing. If there's something specific that you want me to go over, or if you want me to do a specific webinar on something, just email me or ask me now, and I will put something together. I'll spend the week and put something together, put something fantastic together, or pay someone to put something fantastic together for me. That's funny. Okay, so next one, excuses and action. 2 other words. You could either make excuses or you could take action. Simple enough. Go back to the meetings I had this weekend, with 3 different people that all they wanted to do was bad talk the contractor. He's this, he's that, he's this. And then they go, well, he's got excuses. He's got this, he's giving me this excuse. He's telling me this. He's giving me the runaround here. Okay. Now what kind of action do we take? You've heard all the nonsense. You've heard all of his excuses. You've heard everything that you're going to go. Are you going to waste another week? You can. You can waste another week of just sitting there and listening to him say, well, the parts are on order. Well, my laborers are sick. I broke my truck. My tools are broken. So here you go. Here's all the excuses. So your action is, when are your guys going to get back? Hire someone else, buy a new drill, take your car to the shop. So that's just it. I mean, you can either have excuses, and everyone's got one. Everyone knows the old saying, everyone's got an excuse. But you got to take action from that point. Here, the thing is, we'll go back on our houses, you know, excuses of why we can't do this, excuses of why we don't do that, or, you know, how come it's going to cost this much? Well, let's take some action and find out. That was the one thing, that was the big thing that we did down there in California. When I went to California, is it was an action trip for me. It was, we had to get an architect, action. We had to see, you know, soil reports. We had to take action. You know, I could listen to everybody telling me why we shouldn't do the deal, but, you know, until we investigate it to the very end, you know, I'm not going to stop. You know, there's no reason to stop. You know, don't let someone tell you to stop until you've exhausted everything. And once again, success and failure. Don't stop until you just can't do it anymore. And then when you can't do it anymore, try one more time. Just try one more time, because we could on our first deal, on our first $1 million deal that we went to California to look at, that turned out to be no good. If we would have just said, man, we've put a lot of work into this. We've done our homework. All the numbers look good. Everything's okay. Ivan's looked at it. I've looked at it. You know, the person that sent it to us looked at it. Our realtors looked at it. Everything looks good. But there was one issue that we had that we could never get away from. So if we would have pushed that through and bought that first house, I'm going to tell you, I would be blaming everybody for why we couldn't finish this job. And the reason we couldn't finish the job is pretty stupid, because if I would have done it in the very beginning and looked at the whole issue from the very beginning like we did, and that's the reason why we backed out of it, you know, we would be in a world of hurt. I mean, it was just a matter of the inspections. I mean, I'm going to go into it a little bit, but the property was built. They were rehabbing it, and they stopped halfway through. Couldn't understand. The permits had expired, and the people had continued to work on this project. Now, for those of you who've never done a flip or not done this, when you're doing a rehab or that is big, I mean, this one was structural. This one had pylons that had, I think it had 8 or 10 pylons, meaning pylons, 24 inches around, and they have to it was on a hill. They have to hit in 7 feet before you hit bedrock. And then once you hit bedrock, you have to go 10 feet into that bedrock so that it's a solid footing. Thanks, Mike. It's a footing. It's called caissons is what they're called. That's the contractor technical term for it. They're caissons that go into the hill. Well, what had happened is the contractor failed an inspection. Number one, they failed an inspection. So what you do is you call back for the inspection. They never called back for the inspection, and they never asked for another inspection. They just kept building. So what happens is the city goes, they put a big red tag on the door, and they say, you know, work needs to stop. We need to inspect. Well, now that it's past the inspection, and remember, you have to dig at least 7 feet down, and then after you get 7 feet, it has to go 10 more feet. So normally you dig the holes, the inspector comes out, sees how deep it is, make sure it's okay, and then they say, okay, you can pour the concrete. These concrete caissons were poured. There's nothing we could do. The only thing we could do is jackhammer them out. So, you know, if I would have just sit there and go, well, maybe we can get through this, you know, I could have blamed someone else and give, you know, make excuses of why I'm in such a bad predicament, or why we have $2 million that is just sitting that we're not making any money on, and everyone's getting pissed off. And oh my goodness, what do I do? It's just, you know, success and failure. You know, I mean, you know, I think that we had a huge success by a failure of not following through, if that makes sense. We succeeded by not following through, by having a failure in there. So, you know, look at them both ways. You know, use them to your advantage if you can. So, you know, excuses and action. You've got to take action. You know, before I start to blame someone, I try and figure out, take some accountability for it. You know, before I blame someone, look what my part was in it. Did I have a part in it? Inevitably, you know, when you come down and look at it from a rational standpoint, there's blame on both sides and there's accountability on both sides. I can blame them. They can blame me. I'm accountable for not keeping them accountable. They're accountable for not keeping me accountable. you know, it's just words, and this is kind of where I'm going at. It's just words. Any questions? I see one question. Success was that you didn't follow through. You could have lost your butt. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. The success was from a failure. I mean, that's, you know, we succeeded by not failing. And I know that I'm saying that, and I'm not the public speaker that you all think I am. I'm just, you know, a pretty face with an Angels hat on every week. So, so that's where we're going. We're jumping back and forth. Any questions? Raise your hand. If there's, once again, if you've got something to say, I try and read them right away. And like I said, this is just a words one that's going on. Geez, everyone's texting me. Everyone's going through. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything going. Ivan, why don't you just come on and tell me? So guys, if you need to get a hold of me, if you want to reach me, it's scott@c2creia.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I really appreciate it. I see a lot of people on. I appreciate all the stuff that you guys have been sending me over and getting back with you. If there's a reason why we don't follow through with it, number one, I email you back and tell you why. If you want to call me, on all my emails, there's a phone number, and I've got 3 phones that ring off the hook. So, Ivan, you're back. Tell me something.
Well, I just wanted to give one little piece of advice for people that they may or may not be taking this into account, and it'll vary per neighborhood. But property taxes, what are those property taxes going to cost you when you hold the property for 6 months, or what if it takes you longer than that? And depending on the neighborhood and where you are, just as an example, you know, one of the properties that we were looking at, the property taxes were about $8,000 a year. And now, same street, opposite side of the road, you know, closer to the beach, property taxes on that property are about $19,000 for the year.
That's crazy.
So when you consider the difference there, guess what? That's to be paid. So when you're looking at a deal, that's I mean, it's not a deal breaker here because the project is big enough, but it can definitely make a difference when you're calculating your numbers. So always make sure that you look the properties up. The easiest way to do it is just you know, I usually just look the property in Google, click on Zillow, and then there's usually a link to the county tax assessor's office or website where you can pull up the information pretty easily. And you can see what the last year's taxes were, the tax assessed value, etc. And then you can get a very good gauge as to what it's going to be for the coming year.
And guys, just so you know, this is less than, I would say it's less than 10 houses from the other house that we looked at. Exact same side of the street. The only difference is it's on the south side of PCH as opposed to the north side of PCH. And that's double. That's more than double the taxes. Just, you know, these are the little things that we try and you know, save you from having these, you know, meltdowns in the end. It's like, well, I didn't know that. Well, accountability, you know, do your research. This is what we want you to understand, that it's not just a matter of you sending the deal and saying, well, you know, this looks good, that looks good, the numbers look good, and then it comes across to us. And like I said, Ivan's the numbers guy. So if it gets past me, the numbers look adequate. You know, I mean, it looks like we could make some money. But then Ivan's going to go in there and just, I mean, with the knife and just cut the whole deal up and make sure that we're not going to get, you know, upside down in it. And that's why Ivan is the man. I mean, Ivan is the deal maker. So thank you, Ivan. Guys, is there any questions that's going on? Because I'm coming back to it. This was
thank you.
This was really just kind of like I said, it's a variation from what I normally do on my bird dogging calls. But the threads run so deep this week on everything that we've talked about, the success and failure, and there's just that fine line, that red line that goes between them. And you know, success is built off of failures, and I'm successful because I failed. That's what it is. I really have. So, we start at the beginning. Why is this so hard, or is it? It's as hard as you guys want to make it. It's as hard it's as hard as you not looking at the details. It's when you bypass the details is when you start running into issues and running into problems. And that's what you need to do. You need to be laser pointed on it. Whether you're looking up deals to send or looking up deals to buy for yourself. Here's the other thing. If there's people that that want to get into it, but want nothing to do with the rehab part of it, but they have money sitting in an account and they want to make money. That's a simple thing that you guys can do. I mean, there's finder's fees for finding money. I mean, there's numerous opportunities out there for you guys, and we've opened them up for you and trying to make everything available to you guys so that we can help you. So once again, the way to contact me is scott@c2creia.com. Facebook, if you hook me up on Facebook, what we're going to do, I know Kimberly was asking, I'm going to, if you friend me on Facebook, we do have a group that's just together. I think there's only 2 or 3 people in there because this happened a couple of weeks ago, and last week I wasn't here, so I haven't been on it as tight. But let's get the group back up. Like I said, when you guys didn't get the email a couple of weeks ago, the webinars ran out, so we had all the people that was on there drop off. So we're getting everybody back on. Like I said, tonight was good. I'm surprised we have as many as we do, which I'm super grateful for it. I appreciate your time on Mondays. Thank you very much for it. Reach out to us. Go to c2creia.com. Go up all the past webinars. You can get on Ivan's. You can get on Pete's. And get everything from there. Let's go to here one more time. Here's the page for it. About us. If you could hit everything. The webinars that we have going on throughout the week. Journey to Success. You've got Money Matters with Ivan. You've got me, Bird Dogging Opportunities. On Fridays, there's Experts Corner on Tuesday. And Wednesday is the Power of CEO, and Friday is Women Entrepreneurs in Life. So if you just hit that page on any of the past webinars or anything that you want to see on the podcasts, we will be up and running. I'm kind of rambling just to see if there's any questions. Oh, here we go. Got one. What are the details that make a good deal? Well, the details is if there's money left in the deal. The details that make a good deal is we need comps. We need solid comps. We need short days on market. If you go back onto some of the past webinars that I have, I'm going to try and pull one up here that I'm trying to see which one it was. Show me money, realtor. Help us say yes to your deal. This is a great one right here that you can go back and listen to. It says what helps us to say yes to a deal. It shows you where we go on the comps, how we figure out the comps, but they need to be solid comps through a realtor, through the MLS, short days on market, if there's value in the property or if we can add value to the property. So I would suggest going back on this one. It's the 003. Help us say yes to Bird Dogging Opportunities. That's a perfect one to listen to. And any of the other ones that you want to listen to, we kind of run a thread through it. And like I said, if tonight's just a little bit different, we haven't hit anything specific, but if there's something that you want me to go pinpoint on and really hammer and get the details out for you, just email me, ask me now, send me an instant message on Facebook, and we'll get to that. So that's what we've got. And finally for the night, we've always have Pete's 21-day challenge. I know I do it. It's a goal thing, and I know Pete got that from Ivan. It's writing our goals down every day. 5 community, 5 business, and 5 personal. Here's mine for today, August 18th, I think it is. I got 3 pages of them. So, whatever we're trying to get you guys to do, we're doing ourselves. So, thank you for listening. I'll look one last time if there's any questions. Ivan, did you want to? Oh, hold on. Confirming once more. Burn homes are okay. Confirm yes. Those were my bread and butter when I was right before we started shifting up into the $1 million homes. But yes, burned out homes are wonderful. Kim, can you just tell me whereabouts you're looking at them? That's do you want to type it in, or do you want me to take you off? Let me see. Will you talk to me if I unmute you? Kimberly, will you talk to me if I unmute you?
No.
If you don't have to, you could type it. I was just wondering what part of the country are you in? Okay, I muted her. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Okay, perfect. Then yes, send me some stuff. Thanks. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there. So yes, we are fine with burned out homes. Mike, you're awesome, buddy. Thank you. You have a good night too. So contact us at c2creia.com, Scott at c2creia.com, Facebook, Scott Travis. There's my face. You've seen it all night. My beautiful wife, it's right there. And once again, go to Pete Asmus's 21-day challenge, the same place, guys. Okay, with that, this has been the shortest one that I've had, which is absolutely fine. I hope you guys all have a great night and a great week. And remember, if there's anything you need, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. All right, have a good night, guys.